As we prepare for our new unit on organic chemistry, we are going to take a look back and understand what is unique about organic compounds. Organic compounds are compounds that contain carbon and hydrogen. They can contain other nonmetals as well. Since all organic compounds contain the nonmetals carbon and hydrogen, all organic compounds are covalent. We will take this opportunity to review the different types of bonds and the properties associated with each. So there are three major types of bonds. There are ionic bonds that make salts, covalent bonds that make molecules, and metallic bonds which exist between metals. Remember, bonds are always formed so elements can obtain low energy, more stable noble gas valence electron configuration. But the elements that participate in bonding each have different electronegativities. The electronegativity will govern the type of bonding present between two elements. Ionic bonds occur between metals and nonmetals. During ionic bonding, there will be a large difference in electronegativity, and an electron will be transferred from the low electronegative metal to the more electronegative nonmetal. Look at this animation here of sodium chloride. Watch as sodium transfers its electron to chlorine. Ionic compounds, also called salts, tend to be hard crystalline solids with high melting points, and they are soluble in water. Ionic compounds conduct electricity only in the aqueous or the liquid molten state. That is due to free moving ions. The ions are always present in an ionic compound. Notice here we have the ionic structure of sodium and chlorine. Ionic compounds are held together by strong electrostatic attractions, meaning the attraction between the positive charge and the negative charge. In water, the ions are able to separate. This allows for their charges to freely move, and thus they can conduct electricity. Here you can see how the covalent compound water does not conduct electricity. Also, ionic solids do not conduct electricity. When you place an ionic compound into water, its ions will separate. Free-moving ions allow for the conducting of electricity. Covalent bonds form when two similar elements, two nonmetals, bond. Since nonmetals have similar electronegativities, they will not have a transfer of electrons, but instead, covalent bonds have a sharing of electrons. Co, meaning shared, valent, valence. So they have a shared valence. All covalent compounds are called molecular substances. Generally, covalent compounds have low melting points and boiling points. This means that covalent compounds are not only soft, brittle solids, but they could also be liquids or gases at room temperature. Covalent compounds do not conduct electricity because they do not have charged particles. Of course, there is an exception. Acids are covalent compounds that do conduct electricity. All other covalent compounds should not be expected to conduct electricity. Metallic bonds form when metals bond with other metals of the same element, like gold that makes jewelry. Metals have relatively high melting points and boiling points, and they are able to conduct electricity even in the solid state because, as you can see from the animation to your right, metals have delocalized their valence electrons. They spit their valence electrons out and allow them to move around all the metal nuclei. This allows metals to conduct electricity as solids. So by now, you should be able to describe the properties of ionic and covalent bonds and identify substances as ionic or covalent based on their properties.